Welcome guys to our second online lab. Today we'll do what's called the Jominy Quench bar test. It's a test for hardenability. So we have prepared already a sample like this. It's made out of 1045 steel. And then as we learned, if we're gonna get different cooling grade, we'll get different microstructure and different properties, okay? So we had one sample inside the furnace and we kept it at 150 to make it fully austenite. And then we'll take it and quench it, as we're gonna show you guys in a minute. So the quenching will go from here up to there. Water will touch this side, and then the maximum cooling rate will be here, and as we move up, the cooling rate will decrease. So the point is just to see how cooling rate will affect properties and microstructure and property as well. Now we'll go and perform the test, okay? So we have our sample there. So water is running there. So the bottom there in direct contact with water, okay, and you see the top there still red, so that means that the maximum cooling rate is there where the water contacts the sample. And as we move up, it's a slower and slower cooling rate, right? So this bottom there quenched in a very short time, and any transformation already happened. But on the top, the sample is still cooling down, and the transformation or the cooling rate is slow. We should, and from what we have learned, that we should get different structure at the spot where the cooling rate is fast, and we should get different structure where the cooling rate is moderate, and we should see a different microstructure on the top where the cooling rate was the slowest, okay? And as we mentioned, and as we learned before, different microstructure means different properties. So the next step is just to measure the hardness and see how the hardness will be different at different spots. So the next part of our work is to do hardness. Now, we already prepared the sample ahead of time, okay? And once we got that done and the sample is cooled down, we take the sample, we cut the edges and prepare, grind it and clean it, and we're gonna measure hardness from the bottom to the top. The bottom, which was in a direct contact with water, and this is the top. So this one here has the highest cooling rate. So we should, it's supposed to have a different microstructure than the middle, than the top, and how to know that we got different microstructure by measuring hardness. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna measure hardness through the whole length and see how hardness will change from the bottom to the top. So now we are at the bottom here. We'll measure hardness. So we'll try to measure as much as close as we can to the edge, because the edge has the fastest cooling rate. So we got 120 at the edge, okay? We got 120 at the edge. Do you have a pen with you? Okay, anyway, we recorded those, we recorded those measurements already, but we'll keep continuing taking measurements. So that's 1 point. Let's see, now we go a bit further inside and see what's going to happen to the harness. So it's 1/8, right? So at the edge where the water was hitting the sample, which means the high cooling rate, we got 120, and as we move inside, we got 1/8. Let's move a bit inside and see what's going to happen with the hardness measurement. (104). Move further. You see, guys, hardness start decreasing, and that should be expected as we move from the fastest cooling rate to the slowest cooling rate. So 103. Let's go further. $100. Okay, still decreasing. Okay, 99. So I think we got enough readings. Probably you have guys, you guys have notes that the maximum was here, and then at up to certain depth, then the hardness will be the same. So that means we can get full hardness if we're going to use this material. We can measure what's the depth of the sample by which we can get fully hardened structure. That's the main purpose of this Jominy bar test, is to get an idea about the hardenability, which means what's the depth at which we can get full hardness of the material. So by this, we done the test. I'll send you guys the hardness measurement, and I'll send you some instruction on the D2L on how to write your report. Thank you guys for watching this video, and see you soon.